Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. So this week we are back in the new podcast room, which is still quite empty. The couch is kind of falling apart. It does, I found out after last week, not look as green on camera. It does look semi-turquoise.
That's what I said.
Don't let it fool you, though. It's freaking green.
It's super green.
It's so green. So we look forward to getting this space a little bit more finished. It's just been so busy at this point in the year. We have a few things to talk about today. Lots of stuff happened this past week. So one of those things was we went and picked up Seven. We brought back Gretchen. In the car ride, we had put out on Facebook a thing being like, hey, we want to know what y'all want to know about the crew, about Nate and Abigail and Matt. And we did answer a few of the questions, but I thought it might be a good time not to just do those few questions. Let's expand on those and answer some more in this episode. So we will talk about Seven and about the things happening on the farm and plans for the month and things like that. But I
we
figure
will
we could go
also
ahead
talk
and
about all the intricate details of Abigail's life.
we also need to know more about Abigail, just Abigail. So
I saw a comment that it was like, so it was like, I've always loved Abigail. I was like, but Matt's actually pretty all right.
I will say the comments on YouTube, when we ever do videos that are, focused on y'all, the comments are comical. They are humbling. They are backhanded a lot of the time.
A lot.
Mostly.
And also, let's just throw this out there. There is an unwarranted amount of people that want some sort of romance between y'all. And we just got to get it out there in the open.
Yeah,
Nate, Matt, and Abigail, it's not going to happen.
No shot.
Nate has a beautiful wife named Macy. Matt has a beautiful wife named Maddie. Abigail has Moo.
No one. Abigail is alone.
Let me preface. It's because Abigail is absolutely alone.
So that's just, this is a very, obviously we're close. We spend a lot of time together. So we have a lot of, inside jokes.
Yeah.
Chemistry, but it's friend chemistry.
Yes, very much so.
It's friend chemistry. It's not.
I don't know if you extinguished those flames or just fueled them. We spend a lot of time together. There's definitely chemistry.
We have a lot of chemistry.
Chemistry doesn't have to be romantic.
We know that.
It's more friendistry.
It's
friendistry.
Okay.
Yeah. That's copyrighted, by the way.
It is.
No one can use that except me. I just made it up.
Can't you do what's considered a poor man's copyright, where if you write something down and date it and put it out,
mail it to myself.
Yeah, something like that.
Don't open the envelope.
Isn't that how you can do that?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Because I used to, write songs, and then I was putting them out on Instagram and stuff like that, and then I was like, oh, what if someone steals them? So I would write the lyrics out and attach a voice note, and then email it to another. I don't know if that would even work.
What's actually funny is I think that if you posted the video,
that's probably
that would have been enough, because you could say, well, my video, you would have to prove that you wrote that before my video was out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was enough.
Probably. But anyway, let's get into some of those questions from y'all. I say as I don't even have them pulled up. So let's just cut
I
this
have them pulled up
out
on our nifty computer back here.
Okay, then y'all let us know. Y'all take over.
A lot of people were interested in Matt's touring story experience. So
I toured with the band.
Go ahead.
It was an experience.
Okay,
elaborate.
Well, some cool stuff.
The intricate details.
Like what band? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah.
It's confidential.
Wina Taggart was wanting to know specifically about the Post Malone thing. As I toured with a band called Muscadine Bloodline, and actually right before I started doing stuff with Katie, that was my first year doing stuff with them, and it was awesome. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of time away from home, but right there towards the tail end of last year, right around the time my baby was being born, I got hit with a phone call that they got the opening slot for Post Malone. It was kind of one of those things that nobody was really prepared for, and it was like, hey, we got this opportunity. We leave next week. if you can't do it, obviously, like they were telling the band, even if the band couldn't do it, they were going to have to reschedule. But it was a pretty cool opportunity. Got to meet him, hang out with him, and honestly, the best part about that whole experience was the catering. There was a couple of times we got like Taylor Swift's caterer, and we had like there was a handful of times there was chicken strips and like hamburgers and stuff, but like it was like lobster, steak,
my gosh.
Crab legs.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
Like
well,
all kinds of stuff.
I even shot a show with him, and this is the first time I'm hearing of this.
Nate didn't get that.
Did
they
you
didn't
get
do
one of the
catering
chicken
for that
tendies
show.
day?
I didn't even get a chicken.
Dude, I was
tendy.
worried
I just
that-
got a hungry tummy.
I didn't even know if Nate was even going to be able to get in because I had hyped this whole experience up. I was like, dude, they're coming to Nissan Stadium. It's going to be in Nashville. You're going to get to shoot with me. It's going to be a whole thing. Talked it up as I do. And like the day of, like security was just so tight, and it was looking like 30 minutes. It was like right before he was supposed to come. I didn't even know if he was going to be able to get to the door, but it worked out.
Well,
Did you even know about
He's
any
like,
of
I'm
this?
just now hearing
yeah,
about
I,
this.
no, I knew about all that, but I was on the phone with him. I was on my third loop, just trying to find a place to park that wasn't 3 miles away. And I said, "Hey, I know it's Post Malone, but I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't find a spot on this loop, I'm going home."
It almost didn't happen.
He said, "Well, to be honest, you may not be getting in anyway."
To be honest,
I'm glad you said that.
there's not a whole lot of things that stress me out more than parking.
Finding a
Yeah,
parking
it's the
spot.
worst.
I can't have the radio. Like the radio has to be turned off. Conversations are done. Like we're zeroing in real quick. We got to lock in real quick.
One of the things that got me kind of over my parking fear was when I went to college, because I had a major parking fear.
Yeah.
When I was 18 or 19, I had to face a lot of my fears. Talking on the phone to people that I don't know, asking questions to people that I don't know on the phone, and parking. And so when I went to college, on that campus, it's in Nashville, so there was tons of like parking garages and whatnot. Had to figure that out. 18, 19-year-old girl in her little Jeep Wrangler, stupid. I'm just, they're just dumb. And I was one of them.
Yeah.
And then I worked in my dad's office as a receptionist and had to start talking on the phone. Those are the things that give me anxiety.
I still don't like parking, and I'm also extremely overly adamant that I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay to park.
Well, in Nashville, it's
You
more.
have to.
It's more expensive
I'll find a
to
spot.
park in Nashville than it is in New York City. Parking in Nashville is more expensive than New York City.
Crazy expensive, and I will make the 3 laps to find a spot that I don't have to pay for, even if it's a little further.
I believe that.
I don't care a lot.
That checks out. But
Yeah.
I've never been to Nashville and not had found places not to pay.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I
know,
don't.
you gotta know where to
think I
go.
have either.
No.
I'll share a few of my secret spots.
But
Was
I'm
it,
also
was it in
camera.
Austin when we...
Yes.
Should we tell that story about
I think
parking?
I feel like we might already.
Did we tell the story about Abra
I don't know.
leaving her phone?
I think we did
Oh,
because I
I
think
don't know.
we like prefaced it that like when she watches this to be like it's funny. Like,
It's funny
not-
now. In the moment, we got scolded because when we were in Austin for the Facebook IRL thing, I think we were just driving around to find some food real quick, and we looked up Chick-fil-A, but it ended up being like on one of the main roads. It wasn't like a standing Chick-fil-A with a parking lot.
Yeah.
And so we parked on the street, and we all went in and whatever. Well, then one of the orders was wrong. She was like, I'm going to go in and get my stuff. And by the time we got back up there and we had,
We went back to the car that was in the spot that she knew where we were parked, and then she got out and went back to get
We
our
had already
food.
left.
We pulled back around and dropped her off, and then we were like, we're gonna park out front, and we'll just be right here when you come out. Well, then while she's inside, we get like a policeman coming up to us and knocking on the window and saying like, we're gonna get a ticket if we don't move. We're in a tow zone, and so we move, go back to the spot that we were in first. And then she didn't think to look there again, and she thought that we just like left. And so we waited on her for probably like 30 minutes.
because we waited and we didn't realize.
We
'cause
didn't
then I
realize
started
that she-
calling her,
Yeah.
and her phone was on silent in the back seat,
This is not
and
good.
so she had no phone to call us with.
So she was just like waiting for us to reappear. And then so eventually we were like, we're going to do a loop back around when we realized the phone was in the car. And we come back around right as she's walking out. And she was like, I was about to start walking to the hotel. I was getting directions from people. And it was a whole ordeal. We were
And
scolded.
then we found out this wasn't her first offense, though. So I will say,
Yeah.
Aubrey, keep your phone on you. Because she had called her husband, and he was like, why do you keep leaving your phone not on you. Keep your phone on you.
Oh, so this was an
So this
ongoing
was a
issue.
thing.
He exposed her.
Yeah,
This was a
Yeah.
thing.
She was a repeat offender.
Yeah.
Al
So-
Lee has a question. And Katie, you need to answer these questions. Like, it was suggested that you answer these too. So
Katie, you need to answer these.
this is just a
Okay.
this is everybody.
This is for
question.
everyone.
Because this applies to everybody, especially you, for this question. But
We put out a prompt saying this is literally 90% of the comments. I put out a prompt saying, "Hey guys, we're gonna do a Q&A with Nate,
and
with Matt, Nate, and Abigail. What would you
Matt.
like to know about them?" Literally, explicitly, what would you like to know about them? Everyone's like, "So who are you breeding Trudy to this year?"
what are your plans for Knox?
Like, that's not the prompt, people.
well, that is not what I meant, but that's a good point and a funny point. But I just mean like this applies to you for sure.
Okay.
Al Lee wants to know who is the most organized and who is the hot mess. LOL. I fall under the hot mess.
Who I was gonna say someone else should answer for each of us.
I would say
we're a hot mess for sure.
me.
Yes.
Ah.
Nate is organized.
Nate
I would
is,
say
Nate and Abigail
you are
are
a hot
the
mess
most
for sure.
organized. Katie's the most hot
I'm
mess.
kind of in the middle.
I'm the most hot mess.
Yes.
For sure. Like I'm
Yes.
dude, I am like to say that I'm a hot mess. I feel like is a little.
Oh no.
Are you
Outlandish.
offended by that?
BS. You are
You
are so
your
definitively hot
head
mess.
is in 20 different places at all times.
All right, in that category.
You've had clothes in a bag in my guest
yeah, that's true.
bedroom and in this room before it was the podcast room for months.
Yeah, I retract that statement. I think it's pretty even. Like it's 50-50. Katie and I are hot messes, and you two are the most organized.
But
sure.
okay, I am a little bit offended that you said I'm the most hot mess.
Oh,
Well, do you think Matt
sure.
is more?
Yes.
No way.
No, I don't think so.
No way.
You don't think so either?
I don't think so.
See, I do think on the TikTok side of things, and like because my brain is so hardwired towards breeding, people think I'm organized because I can just rattle off stuff. That is the only thing I know.
Well, I think it's impossible to be organized to a certain point. Like there's only so much organization you can have with as much stuff as you have going on. You know?
Also, I don't know where my wallet is. I haven't for a month. I haven't canceled a single card. I don't know where my license is.
I have it. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like-
I forgot.
and I'm not really that worried about it. Is that type B? Is that because I'm type B? Because I'm not that worried about it. I'm like, it'll turn up.
I don't know what I would call that.
I do have I operate, and Nate does not, and there's some things that we are the exact same, and some things that we are polar opposites. I am totally fine operating with a blind sense of everything is going to work out, or for example, sleeping in the car, or even on the tour bus or whatever, going to sleep in a bunk with somebody else driving and no sleep out, I have no problem doing that, because if I wreck and die, I'm 100% not going to be able to do anything about it. So I just have this blind faith.
I'm on the opposite end where I just assume that nothing's going to go as
Right.
it should. Nothing's going to go right.
And I fall right down the middle, and nobody likes my opinions.
I don't know what I am in that circumstance because I don't know.
I'm just the logical to an annoyance.
Okay, I think.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we all agree, but I think, and I think
My
this
personality
goes
is
for a lot of.
annoying.
Sometimes I do get frazzled. Sometimes, but I was raised by Matt Van Slyke, and Matt Van Slyke's philosophy in life is can you do something about it? Okay, if you can, then do it. If you can't, then just don't worry about it. You can't do nothing about it. And so I feel like that does give me an inner peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also get frazzled. I do get frazzled.
'Cause my wife will stress about everything, even things a month from now, or things there's no possible anything that you could even handle right now. You can't even do anything about it till next week or whatever. She'll stress about it, and I just don't. That's bad for your mentee.
You have a frazzle meter, I think, and you can tell you
It's
get frazzled,
situational.
more frazzled, and you can kind of judge it based on how many words you start saying wrong.
I don't know. This past week or so, it's been pretty much every other sentence.
I've been frazzled.
And so that's when eventually it reaches a point where you can't say sentences
Incoherent.
anymore. You're half incoherent. And you're like, I need a day off. And then you take one day off, and it's like you are an English textbook again. You can say anything that's ever happened.
I am I'm gonna have y'all inspect my head later. Abigail wasn't here yesterday, so I don't know why I started it off with Abigail. Rebecca and
Point A.
Danny were at my house yesterday, and I'm standing there. I had my hair down. It was like kind of clean, and they're like, "Oh, you have gray hairs coming in,"
Huh?
and I was like, "Okay, y'all are haters." And they're like, "No, you have gray hairs." They plucked one, showed me. I still don't believe them. I was like, "That's not wiry. Like it looks. I don't know. It didn't look gray to me." But the gray, supposed gray, was like this long. And I was like, oh, well, that's about the length of foaling season. I was like, that kind of checks out.
Yeah.
Like December to now, like the hair growth. Because my hair grows like 3/4 inch a month. So
That's pretty quick.
my
Average
hair is
half.
ridiculous.
Average is half.
It grows so fast. And so I was like, okay, I guess foaling season's giving me gray hairs now. So I'm going to have y'all inspect and tell me if they're actually gray or not.
I can't see any from here.
I think they're haters, and they're not actually.
How
but-
how long are you gonna grow it?
My hair?
Yeah, you gonna keep
I
going.
don't know. I don't really have a plan. Right now, it's like past my butt crack.
Keep going.
Just keep it going. It's getting a little gross at the end.
What if you don't cut it till I do?
You don't want to enter this bet.
Well, it's not. It would just be you're not allowed to until I do. Like I could decide, you know what, whatever. But if I go,
No, if I decide no, we're keeping going, then we keep going. It's till one of us.
But see, you're already so long. You wouldn't even notice a difference. I can't take it.
Don't be like proposing things that you have no backbone for.
You're right. I shouldn't do that. That shouldn't stupid.
So where were we? Type B, type A, who's I'm very type B, obvious. I think it's obvious that I'm type B. You're type A.
I'm more type A than type B for sure.
Matt's type B 1000%.
I don't know the difference.
You know what though? Like Abigail, are you type A even? Because I feel like in your work
No.
life you're type A. In your home life you're type B.
Yeah, I'm not like
That's depression.
Depression's not funny.
Because you're on top of things.
But
Like you're on
that's no
top of things
laughing
at work. You're organized. You like, because someone has to be organized here if I'm the hot mess express apparently. But
to a point. I feel like I do a good job of seeming organized. I like to give off that. I'm glad that you think I look organized all the time.
I mean your car is type B.
Type B
Yes.
car.
You have a type B car.
Laundry.
So
type
here's
B, for
here's
sure.
here's the thing with my car. It's either type A or it's type B. And
type
it's
B.
either if it's type A, it's immaculate, and if it is super clean, it will very good chance it stays super clean. If the ball ever rolls down the hill a little bit,
It just
I mean, we are talking the worst vehicle interior you have ever seen. I'll
It's
give
pretty
you a run.
rough.
It's pretty rough. It'll explode.
mine
fast.
last summer was pretty rough.
Oh yeah.
Mine was worse. Mine had more junk. Yours smelled worse.
Well, mine was transporting.
You had animals and stuff in there.
Mine was transporting 7 3 days a week.
right.
To go to water therapy.
There was a reason for the scent,
It was.
but you definitely had me beat in that. But there was a point where you almost couldn't see out of my back window.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. What are y'all giggling at? What's the next question?
What's Abby's greatest blessing she has
No.
ever received?
What Abby?
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
What is it?
Which is cooking.
What's your greatest blessing you've ever received?
We all know
She
the answer to
doesn't
that.
say us.
Say it.
I love having Matt gonna get Pico a girlfriend, and I would.
So can I have Molly?
Can you just have Molly?
Can
That's
I
what
have
Jennifer
Molly?
wants. Jennifer Knight said, "Can I have
We all
Molly?"
rock paper scissors for Molly.
Okay, but the person who wins has to pay for Molly.
What's our favorite part about working with Katie? You go, Nate.
Okay, we don't have to turn this into a. How much has your life been blessed by Katie? Like we don't need to turn that into this.
But we could, because it
We
has been blessed
should
a lot.
though.
You know, it really all started.
Well, I know my favorite part. It'll always be my favorite part, and I'll never have another answer to my favorite part.
The clout.
No, it's the pulled pork.
That's true. That is your answer.
You know, it's been a minute.
It has been a
I
minute.
know.
It's been minutes.
We've been missing
Let's
it.
see how long we can keep it
I was
going.
about to say we've got a long time without anybody bringing it up.
You know what? I'll just eat my pulled pork alone.
No,
Y'all can,
I'll be there.
I won't cater.
You know,
You know what? What? Here's the thing.
we're in trouble now.
People say they're like, oh, Katie seems like I bet she's like mean behind the scenes or whatever. I cook for them. Okay.
One good deed
A
doesn't
mean
cancel out the
pulled
rest.
pork.
I cater food in. I feed them. Okay. Abigail, would you like to say how many days in the past 2 years you brought your own lunch to work?
Yeah, the lunch does make the abuse a little.
It's a nice break in between the beatings.
I'm just
No,
saying,
I have
don't
I
be-
have not. I've probably brought my lunch like one time, and
You
I
didn't
think
even eat
Jonathan ate it out of the fridge. It was like a half. It was like a half of a Subway sandwich.
And she was like, "Did Jonathan eat my sandwich?" Okay, but no, seriously. As far as the pulled pork, I'm aware that y'all don't like it, and I don't push it on y'all. You're welcome to do other things.
I like it. At this point, I'm just running with like the pulled pork joke.
It's
just a
hyped
joke
me
at this
up.
point.
Here's the thing: the
It's a
first time I
bit.
made it, you hyped me up so hard.
That's
on
where I
it.
went wrong.
It was really good.
It was
It
great.
was really good.
You hyped me up so hard on it the first time, and that I was like, "This is a staple."
And it was a staple for breakfast,
It's-
lunch, dinner.
Monday,
Tuesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
It still is a staple.
It is great. And if you
There's
made
still
it,
probably some in a fridge somewhere.
I think we
somewhere.
should.
It's a scavenger hunt.
I think we should end the last foaling season with it. If we're going to
big batch.
a big batch.
Oh my gosh!
Big party
The
batch.
biggest batch of
You haven't
pork
made
for
it.
Happy's full watch.
You haven't made it the entire foaling season.
Have
That's
I
not
not?
true. Yes,
I
you
have during the week, and we've eaten it for lunch and stuff. Just not for y'all.
but just
on,
not
the
for like a
weekend.
meal, like when all of us were here. Yeah.
Yeah, cut the steaks.
No, yeah, no more steaks and shrimp and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
The shrimp.
Get back to the basics.
Did you like the shrimp? Mm-hmm. It was good.
What's our least favorite chore?
Like in general
Chore?
or at work?
I do have chores for them when they
let's
get
just
here.
say chore in general. Like
Like
our
at
least
home?
favorite
Task,
thing
activity.
to do. Mine would be probably, which
Bowl
is
watch.
no.
Wait, like work related or anything?
Yeah.
Let's just say work related. Mine would honestly be, and not just because we are doing it, but like the breeding videos.
Oh my god, yeah, same.
And it's not, and that's because of different perspective. So it's like, just because from my perspective, I'm just like, it's standing there and like having to go through like 7 different horses. And it's like, to me, it's like, it's the same thing. Even like from a different perspective, it's like, well, it's all a different, there's a different answer. Now we have to make all these different choices. And it's
So from someone running a camera,
right. This is
that's
from
the
my
least fun for
right.
you to do.
That's my least fun like thing to film
Yeah.
and stuff like that. For
Mine
me.
would probably be before this room, setting up and tearing down to film
Yeah.
these
That's true.
was my least favorite.
It took a long time.
It took a long time.
And it
every
was
time.
because that space was used for other things. So we couldn't really ever, like every now and then we could leave it up. But we pretty much had to do like the setup and the tear down where like, Matt might help film something else while you're doing the setup
Yeah.
or whatever. And we tried to make it work. But
It definitely added an extra 3 hours to the day every time we did it.
yeah.
What's your least favorite chore, Katie?
Let's hear from Abigail first.
Oh yeah. Fail.
I also kind of dread the breeding videos. Not taking them, just in general. They're a little repetitive. It does get a little repetitive.
It is repetitive.
I wouldn't say that it's
but
my least
necessary.
favorite. My least favorite chore is probably literally printing or scanning anything.
Yeah.
There's
Office
a lot of
work.
that.
It's so annoying.
And well, especially because right now our printer's been The printer's just not been printing.
There's no worse feeling than
it's
printing something off after you've like done everything and it's still just
Well, so
blank.
we ordered a new printer this morning because ours had just been on the fritz so bad, and we had been having to go other places to print things, and like we were like, we have so much to do coming up, like paperwork wise. We just got to get a new printer because this thing's not working.
Yeah.
It started working perfectly today, so we have a new printer coming.
What are you doing with the old one?
It will be on standby.
It was just a question. I was asking for a friend.
If Nate's gonna do something, he's gonna ask what you're doing with that, and if you
Yeah,
if you're gonna be
100%.
offloading it, and if he can take it home. That's what
right.
he's gonna be asking.
I've recently every opportunity before me, every little place you could get like a leg in somewhere, I'm just taking them. That's how I've
Really
been living
are.
my life lately. I'm like, oh, you want to? Does anybody else want to use the sim horse thing in Knoxville? Yeah, I definitely do. I wanna try.
I will say I was going to if you didn't, but then after you, I felt like it had been kind of overdone.
Because
so
5 years from
Kinda
now,
like a
But
thank
you,
you.
but hadn't you done that when you
to
did
a live
your
cow.
to a live cow?
You got the real deal.
I didn't palpate it. I felt its rumen because it had like it had some type of surgery, so they used it as like a teaching cow, and it
Yeah.
was a dairy cow, and they had this little like kind of like a suction thing, and it was just a hole that you could see into the cow. Like it was fine. It was like up doing its job, like acting normal, and it functioned normally. And they had something that like covered it, but they would take it off, and you could like put
Yeah.
a glove on and like feel and like
That's really
you
cool.
can see like the grass that they've eaten and stuff like that. It's cool.
Interesting.
That's really cool.
My least favorite chore is anything like the back end of the business stuff. So like I love editing my videos. I love making them. I love sitting down to do this. I love planning out stuff. I love the breeding. I love like literally all the things during the day. Like I'm all about it. It's a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
You can get overwhelmed with stuff you love.
Mhm.
Like it's just a lot.
For sure.
But the stuff that I absolutely dread is like, this past year, like this past couple of years, my business has changed a lot and we have a lot of employees. So like there's a lot of tax documents. There's a lot of like just tedious things to do for my bookkeepers and my accountants and things like that. And I
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
loathe it.
That's where I thrive.
That's why me
He's
and
a
Nate work
CPA.
together.
No, I'm not a CPA.
Oh, sorry.
You majored in accounting?
I do have a degree in accounting, and I have
What's a
done,
CPA then?
a certified public accountant. So there's a test you have to
Oh.
pass. And I decided in college that I didn't want to do public accounting. I wanted to do accounting for private businesses.
I see.
So I would essentially be in-house, and you don't have to be a CPA to do
Okay.
that.
I got you.
That is
I
one of
got
the
you.
questions: is what did y'all want to be when you grew up, and is it what you are doing now?
I wanted to be a trick rider.
What's that? Oh, like a show.
Like at the rodeo,
Like
like
at
the
Ren
girl.
fair?
It's never
Like the girl at the Ren fair, the
Jousting.
girl at the rodeo that's like hanging off sideways off the horse. Oh,
it's never too late.
I wanted to be her. My agility and my upper body strength and my previously broken back and
I bet you could do one trick.
honestly, my bravery is just not there.
We can get it back. One trick.
We
We're
just
gonna
need to
see
say the
one
right
trick.
thing, and Nate'll be on it this summer.
Yeah.
It really just takes one.
That's
It
not
takes-
really
it
really
takes-
something that Nate necessarily could do, but that's all it would take.
I could do it.
It's not necessarily something for you, but
It really does just take the right comment, and I'll change the course of my life.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I don't really remember.
Okay.
I really don't. Maybe there's like
Just like make something up.
some trauma blocking it or something, but I don't remember my childhood enough to know what I
Dude,
wanted
me
to
either
be.
though.
Like I don't remember. I
Really?
can't remember what I wanted to be as a child.
I remember some stuff. Like I remember I wanted to be a trick rider, but like there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I think I'm just remember people telling me about that because
Yeah.
I look back, like people are like, oh, that was my favorite thing when I was little, and I still remember the songs, and I'm like, do I just have too much in my head right now? I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything from school. I don't remember anything from I
Yeah.
just don't.
My memories are very sporadic before like 8th grade.
I have very
Very-
specific memories of
I do too.
of random things.
Yeah.
But this is like I clearly like this is
Did we
like
have
quite
trauma?
truthfully.
Did we have trauma?
Was that it?
I think so. I think we should unpack it one day.
We got
Off
time.
camera first.
I just love how like self-aware Nate is. He's like, I really can't think. I must have some trauma that's blocking it.
Matt?
Truthfully, this is what I wanted to do. Like from the very like I remember like going out and like filming hunts as like in like the 6th grade or whatever, the little handy cam. Like this is like in whatever capacity I wanted to work
Film
with cameras
things.
and stuff. I wanted to be like an outdoor video, like everybody did when they watched hunting shows, and then I found out there was no money in that whatsoever. But that was my dream, to be on a hunting show.
Yeah.
Have my own hunting show.
Abigail?
I've gone through quite a few different phases.
And majors.
What was
Yes.
like your what was your main like elementary school I want to be?
See, when I was in like elementary school, I don't remember having a specific thing that I wanted to do. I don't remember having like an idea until 8th grade, and I remember that being a neonatal nurse.
Oh.
And then I went
Specific.
with that for a few years, and then in high school it became zookeeper, and that I still have that. I still think that would be really fun. There's no money in that at all, unless you get like your veterinarian degree and actually be like a zoo vet, which would be really cool. But yeah, I don't know. That was the main one.
I feel like the older you get, like the more you realize about stuff, like your dream job, or like the more you find out like all that goes into it, and then like you're like, that's really not
It
for
kind
me.
of makes it. It's kind of sad. It seems so fun.
Yeah, I wanted to work with the zoo too, and then like
Yeah.
you look into it, and you're just like, well, like if you're actually like an employee at the zoo, like when you're not going out and petting animals, you're cleaning up stuff, and like you're
Yeah.
taking out the trash, and like
Yeah.
you get
It's
to be
definitely
around
not a
animals.
glamorous job
Yeah.
for sure.
Angela wants to know who's the best photographer, Matt or Nate. I don't know.
Sound off in the comments.
I would say
Wait. I actually texted my mom, and I asked if she
question?
ever remembered me
Oh.
saying what I wanted to be when I grew up when I was a kid,
What'd she say?
and I don't remember saying this. I wanted to be a professional soccer player and a musician who played the halftime show of the game I was playing in. So I wanted to be a professional soccer player,
That checks out.
and then when it was
So
halftime,
so
hard.
specifically
I
too.
switched to musician. I played the halftime show, and then I got back on the pitch.
That checks out so hard.
I mean, I've always been this way. I just can't remember.
All right, what's the next question?
Is Nate a better photographer? Personally, I would say Nate. I would say like overall, it's probably situational. Like if we're going
Yeah.
out and taking like pictures of like animals or whatever. If I had to say like who one person has to go out and we need like the best photo possible, like I would send you.
I think I would also send me. I don't think we're that different.
It's just
But
situational. Like
It's situational.
like tour photography.
Don't send me.
I thought I loved it, and I thought I crushed it, and I thought like I really shined like getting really cool photos like that. And I feel like I can take good photos of animals and great
Yeah.
photos of animals, but like consistently every single time, if there was one person to go, I would send you.
For animals, I think I win. But again,
If you win, or does your 85 win?
when you get another one and find out. If it was like a tour photography situation, I would be saying, you got to send Matt. Don't send me into there because he will beat me.
Situational.
It's situational.
in the comments.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you have a tornado plan?
tornado
What's our
plan.
tornado plan?
Well, for the humans, in the shop, we have a room that's like a safe room, and then our house has a basement. For the barn, really, we just leave everyone in the barn. We're not in Oklahoma. We're not in a flat area. Some people will turn their horses loose because they say they can take care of themselves and they'll run away from it. And a lot of people do that in like a hurricane and things like that. And that is different. Here in Tennessee, it's so hilly. It is so like all of our fencing is so like gridded off. They'd be too contained. It is better to just put them in the barn and contain them, keep them dry, keep them fed, warm, all those things. And so that's what we do. We just make sure they all have shelter, that they're all fed, they're all taken care of, because we feel like it's less likely that one specific building's going to get hit than if you spread them all out outside, that harm would be done. So that's our plan.
I wouldn't know it sounds like a good plan to me.
I mean, I think it is geographical. I think it does depend.
That makes sense.
On, like,
we lived
where
in
you
Oklahoma,
are.
like we had a storm cellar. Everybody had a storm cellar because you lived in Oklahoma.
Human wise, like we were just talking about it, if there's one this weekend, I was like, I mean, Abigail, you probably should consider just spending the night here, because her house has not even like an interior bathroom. So I was like, you would be safer here. But for the animals, I mean, I think that's probably what they don't care about us. They were wondering about the animal plan.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. What's our best and worst habits?
We should answer for each other. Just kidding.
We'll do a personal answer and then somebody else's answer. Answer to the person on your left.
Best and worst habit
Are we talking about?
In general, I guess.
in your life.
This could get messy.
I don't know. Like I would consider I don't know about my worst. Huh?
For who? For me?
Just in general,
Honestly,
just
for both of you.
throwing that out there.
I don't feel like I mansplain
It's
about
just-
stuff like much.
Mansplaining is really just explaining, Abigail.
Thank you.
Or like the
See what
last
I
time in the last one, I'm pretty sure I was like, yeah, time just doesn't make sense to me anymore. And then all of a sudden you just start explaining time. And I'm like,
Yeah, but that's a bit. That's a bit, guys.
What a bit is, Katie. I don't know. What's your best habit?
I think
Your work ethic.
I think my best habit is and y'all can disagree with this if you want to, but I think my best habit is my openness in conversation.
Okay.
you can think that all you want.
What do you mean?
That's
what do you
true.
mean by that?
I like that, but first off, I don't think that's a habit. I think that's a quality. For example,
Okay,
my worst
okay.
habit would probably be this. This is my worst habit. My best habit is probably that I get up early every single morning.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Every single morning. I start my day.
My worst habit is my addiction to caffeine.
Yes. I would say that would be probably your worst habit.
Like, or that I ignore the people around me talking when I'm on my phone.
No. That is your worst habit. And now I have started with Abigail to make I want to start if I say something and I clearly tell that she is locked into her phone, I'm just going to start making it more elaborate and more elaborate and more elaborate.
Yeah.
And more
I don't mean
elaborate
to. It's
until-
not that I'm consciously ignoring you.
I know that, but now that I've picked up on it, I can in conversation, I'll just say something and then I'll say, okay, she's on her phone. I'll do this in 30 minutes. Because I know that anything that I say is not going to be registered whatsoever. But that's funny. But your best habit, I don't know. What's your best habit?
I don't know.
Because now we're talking
You're like I can't think of a best
Well,
one.
'cause I was
We
thinking
thought about
back
multiple
of-
bad
I can
ones.
I can think of a few bad ones.
I was thinking of qualities, not habits. You would probably know your habits better.
My best habit. Okay.
Video content.
I was about to say my best habit is honestly probably a sickness, that I have a checklist of what I need to get done in a day, and it's for the content purposes and what feeds into the business. Those things get done. Those will get done. The other night we got home and I was like, oh, I didn't take any videos today. I banged out 8 videos after.
I know. I was
I
trying to go
knew
through
you
and
would.
find the comments. I was like,
I
dang, she's
never-
posted a lot.
I banged out 8 videos after y'all left.
That's a good
And-
habit and a bad habit.
True. It is. It's there's not as good of a balance as there should be for me. My bad habit is there are things, because I'm so honed into that habit, lots of other things lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I could not be bothered to wash a dish. Things like that. And it's
Yeah.
a bad, things like that.
I would say my worst habit then is probably procrastination. Procrastinating everything is, now I have a really hard work ethic that counterbalances that hard. but I push everything to the last minute.
But that's the unhealthy, because I'm similar in a certain way. That's the unhealthy part, is that my good work ethic lets me do everything that I need to do in the last 24 hours. But the bad habit is pushing it to the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then, like, over time, that's just not consistent.
Okay, I know what your worst habit is.
What?
Your worst habit, and you say this all the time. I'll have those to you tonight.
Yeah.
Your worst habit is making empty promises.
Like, we do a full 4-hour photo shoot. I'll have these to you tonight.
And I think
and
it's
then
just
it's
send,
like,
just send me this text. I won't open it until I get home, and then I'll see it, and then I'll remember. I never opened it.
But that is stemmed from such a deep-rooted, like sense of not wanting to like have somebody upset at me, and so like I'll go above and beyond, and I know that, like I know that, because I'll think about it on the way home and be like, why did I say it? Like I could have totally said that I'll have this to you by Wednesday.
And
Everybody
like,
look at Katie.
perfect.
She's doing it again.
What you doing right now?
I'm so sorry. I got a text about the horses. Okay, I'm sorry.
Exhibit A. But yeah, that's it. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah. Anyway,
I don't even know what you just said.
It comes from that. I'll say, you know, I don't know why I just didn't say I was having them to you by Wednesday, because it'd be totally fine if I had them to you by Wednesday.
Yeah.
But my optimistic, like I just want everybody to be happy. I want you to be happy with me. So like I'll have them to you tonight.
And,
And it comes, and at the moment, like I genuinely mean it. But I don't ever. I say things without regarding. That's what it is. It's not I'm just saying it because I just don't care. I say it without thinking about, well, I could possibly have something that I have to do when I get back home.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll just handle this live, I guess. You tell me.
This
Live.
This was a bad idea.
We'll just handle this now.
You just tell me how you want me to respond in these scenarios, because I'm often around when you say things like that, and in my head I'm going, no.
No, he's
no,
not.
but we're
No,
all
he's-
going, no.
I know, but do you want me to just start going?
Yes.
No, don't do. No, it
Yes.
won't be.
Yes.
Don't say that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start.
Because
I'll
like
call you.
because it is truthfully not because I'm just saying it. It's because
Right.
I am not currently thinking of the future when I'm saying that.
Okay.
But I also feel like you have a lot of things that maybe you forget that you have going on. So it's gonna be like you're gonna say, "Will you please like just rein me in next time?" And
Like-
then next time you do it, and he tries to be like, you're gonna be like, "No, I for sure like I have time. Like I'm for sure gonna get it done tonight."
The amount of times we
Like
touch
the banana
base-
pudding pageant for Lily that's this weekend that I forgot about, that I have to walk her out on. And then
Banana pudding pageant.
which y'all are invited to, by the way.
The amount of times that we touch base on like a weekend, and Matt's like, "I'm free every day this week, so make
It's insane.
I'm
make
here all
your
day,
plans
every
around
day."
me being available the entire day."
Again, stems from me just like, listen, I would rather make myself
And then
uncomfortable.
Response the
that
next day.
morning, we're like, "Okay, we got this going on, this going on, this going on." He's like, "I can give you from 1 to 2."
1 and 2.
It's like,
Yeah, Matt will
I've
say,
got 1 to 2 free.
Matt will say, I am available every day next week, all day. I'm wide open. And then the next day he'll say, actually, the window guy's supposed to be here from 11 until
6.
the rest of the
6
week.
p.m.
So
I don't know when he's coming and I don't know when he's leaving. So I've just got to stay. Hey, don't be down.
Are we shutting down?
So the synopsis is, I suck.
Let's start hating on
No,
somebody
I'm
else
just kidding.
now.
Because it is true. And I think about
Let's
it
start
on
just
the way
roasting
home.
someone
Everybody
else.
start roasting me. No, don't. I can't.
No, don't.
I can't take it.
She can't take
I
it.
can't take
you
it.
can't take it.
Well, I almost said it, and that's what I wasn't sitting there pouting. I was sitting there fighting the urge to say it. Well, I'll say it anyway. Is that
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Sorry, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, what's worse? Is that worse, or guys, we need to start at 8 o'clock. What we need to do, we need to start at 8 o'clock because the right light is at 8 o'clock, and like we've been starting late, we continually start late, and I get that you guys are busy, but it's just one time we can make the exception to just start.
Is this at
early.
me or him?
Both. Both you, because me and Abigail, listen, like, guys, we need to be ready to go at 7:45. So me and Abigail will be there at 6:30 a.m. just ready because we want to be prepared. And then Nate will be, dude, I have had to stop to go to the bathroom 7 times, like 10:30
To be
at
fair,
the earliest.
this morning I had 2 actual issues happened that I had to handle before I showed up.
And to be fair,
that's always the case.
Okay, but you know what those issues were.
I'm agreeing. I agree. Yes, you did have things come up.
I had to poop.
But
There's always a valid
things
issue.
that
There's always
come
a valid
up.
excuse. I'm
Yes.
just saying that.
It's always valid. It's
But
just,
the one time that I was like, you know what? There's no way that we're starting at 7:45. It's like it's a hard start, and I'm the only one that's not there.
Yeah.
But I will say I did make a recommitment this morning because
did.
I recognized my failures in that area.
What?
I recognized my failures in
Being late.
not being late, but just
Letting everybody
not
down.
arriving when I said I would. Now, granted, the last time I had a poopy problem, it was a poop. It was chaos. Okay, but usually I'll say, "Oh, we're starting at 8. I'm going to get there at 7:15," and then I get there at like 7:45, which is still okay, but it's 30 minutes later than I said.
My
And I don't like
problems is that, like, there's a lot of things that go on outside of content on the farm. And so there's employees in the barn. There's people that I do business with off the farm. There's people that are working here at the shop that are underneath Jonathan. And there's so many tasks going on that a lot of the times something arises that I get pulled one way or the other. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you literally can't start till I get there. So you're just like sitting there twiddling your thumbs. And like, I wish you could, but like,
Yeah.
because when we're doing content as well, and I don't think like this, it kind of became real the other day. I was like, that's kind of crazy. We were filming, I think it was when we were doing x-rays, and I was like, they're doing YouTube, I'm doing TikTok, she's doing Snapchat. And we were just like, that's all the time. And it's like, we've got 3 different streams of content going at all times and trying to have a different angle from each set of content and keeping it organized with a storyline. And like, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And it just turns into a lot. Anyway, more questions.
This is funny. It's a 2-parter, but it says, does Abigail have a man? Which we've already covered that. But does she
We
want?
don't need to open up that.
Does she
again.
want a man?
Does she want to have a farm of her own someday?
So no, and
By farm, do you mean like Katie Farm, or do you mean like
small scale? Yes.
Okay.
Okay, what do you want on your farm? Give us a little like vision board.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Pinterest if you want to see my home board. Maybe like chickens, some ducks.
Poultry.
When I say farm, more so like
homestead.
So like dairy cow, maybe a couple, lots of vegetable planting.
Yeah.
But my homestead will be like vegetarian homestead. I'll still eat meat, but I just won't provide it for myself.
Okay.
So the chickens and ducks will be for eggs.
Being a little
And looks.
unrealistic.
They will be living
On where
a
our
long,
food comes
full
from.
life that I will not be responsible for ending.
I used to have a duck.
Did you?
Yeah, he had a little kiddie pool with a slide in the backyard.
We used to have a turkey.
8 to 2. Had an 8.
Wow.
Named Tom.
Order them
Oh, okay.
from Murray McMurray Hatchery. Not sponsored.
I didn't even know you could do that.
So this is what happened. I honestly do not know where Tom came from. His name was Tom. It's really original.
Original.
He came to I think it was an older couple that had him, and I think their health was failing, and they tried to rehome him because he was already an adult, and so we took him, and he got so sad.
Oh,
He got so sad that we had to give him back.
that was
Like
the right
he
move.
got here and just like got depressed.
Wow.
There's nothing sadder
Like
than
he
a
wouldn't
sad
gobble.
turkey.
He would just lay there. Like, yeah, it was so sad. But a pet turkey would be kind of fun. You know what? That might be the only bird pet that I would consider.
They're cool. I got them just to watch. They just sit out there and strut.
And then we just have like our own personal decoy.
I got Eastern turkeys. I ordered Eastern turkeys from.
When?
This is when I lived in Oklahoma. But I got them just so I could watch and listen to their sounds and whatnot because I love turkey hunting that much. And we had chickens, and Daddy let me get turkeys.
Daddy, daddy,
Daddy.
let me get turkey.
The second part was what does Matt do on his day off? What sets his soul on fire besides capturing the moments for running Springs and Katie? Like, what sets my soul on fire currently is my garden.
Not your child.
No.
No.
My garden. My soul on fire, like, obviously she does. And because I don't ever do anything, like, I feel like I get home and then by the time I'm like, okay, I can chill out, it's like 9:30. And so I just like watch anime. But that's currently setting my soul on fire, truthfully.
We're all about to come out of seasonal depression. The sun shines out.
It really is. Like, I have, like, and I feel like this is the first time I've ever had seasonal depression because I generally love the winter. It's like my favorite season. But, like, here recently, I have been feeling a little bit more vibey.
I've been feeling like I might be going into spring depression.
Abigail's seasonal depression is like all seasons.
Why do you say that?
Maybe it's just like because it seemed like it was about to be spring or summer-ish.
And then it got cold again.
And then it was cold. And then it's like, I thought it was over. And it's not.
All right, let's not trauma dump. Don't trauma dump on me.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Do y'all have any
for real,
hobbies?
stop talking.
Yeah, stop. Anyway. But for real, though.
That's insane.
Do you have any hobbies?
You're going to break my couch.
Do you feel it every time he leans back? Ooh.
Stop.
How are
Does-
they? They're
does-
not,
Why have I had zero issues?
because they didn't put this side together right. Whoever they is.
Okay, but like you're like pushing on it. Just freaking sit like a normal person.
Does Nate know that we're all in love with him?
He knows.
Oh.
He knows. He knows. You've seen the Spike and Pico content. He's doing it
Guys,
for y'all.
stop.
Okay.
Stop hyping Nate up.
God.
We need
There
it
is
more.
there is favoritism.
We need
for
to take
sure.
Nate down, not put Nate up.
Yeah.
Dude, Nate.
If you're around Nate on a daily basis, you would want to just
Horrible guy.
like just knock him down a little bit. Just like take his power down a little bit.
I think
That's what I want somebody to say
that
about
you
me
would
whenever
just
I die.
want to be friends if you're around me every day.
Imagine
You'd wanna
you're
be
somebody
friends.
reading your obituary. Like, Matt was the kind of guy that you'd
You
be
just
around
wanted
him
to-
and you just wanted to, like, just take a step back from him a while. like you could take him in doses. It was like, you know, like,
No,
Little
okay. Let
dose.
me explain what I mean by that. So like, you know, one of the qualities you said was like your openness for conversation.
Yes, very much.
Okay, well in that conversation,
double down.
in that conversation, he is not going to rest until you think the way he does.
Not true.
And that's like for decision making, for whatever. You're just very locked in.
I'm very open to compromise.
I will say the other day you asked me about something and you were like, I just don't feel like, I'm not going to say what it was, but you were like, I just don't feel like that's like that normal. And I was like, I think it is. Like, I think it's just maybe like people see it in a different way, blah, blah, blah. So that we talked about it for a minute and you were like, you might be right. And I didn't say anything in the moment because this was Tuesday.
'Cause she wanted
but
to
I
reward you.
walked away from that being like, oh my God.
Well,
Just like, I don't know. Like it was weird. You were like, you might be right. I was like, oh.
Well, I am that way.
Growth.
I am very open to being incorrect, but sometimes we will have conversations in which I do have a much stronger belief on whatever the topic is, and it would take much more convincing to sway me. But I'm very open to hearing all sides of a conversation. They might not all convince me, but I'm very open in conversations. For sure.
Okay.
Thank you for that exhibit.
No, that makes me proud.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we competitive about getting the perfect picture? Or no, we're not competitive.
No, I don't even know what photos you take.
We're pretty much one person videos, one person takes photos.
You're not even on my radar, buddy.
That's what that sounds like.
I don't even
I
like.
don't know
I don't even
what
look
he's
at your
doing.
photos.
I've
And I
never
don't
even
want
seen a
to.
photo you took. To be
No,
honest.
I mean legitimately, like if we both went out and took photos, I would never see the ones he took unless you posted them or something.
You know what?
We
you
used
know
to
what
at
would
the- at
get
the
y'all
beginning.
competitive?
Huh.
Okay, so we tossed around the idea, and we're not setting this out. Like, this might still happen. We tossed around the idea of having a. We've tried to figure out the logistics of it, of selling a preset. You know how you can like sell presets
yeah.
on Lightroom. So we talked about doing like a Running Springs preset, Matt version and Nate version. That
I mean,
I guarantee they'd be like, so who's
winning?
sold more?
Yeah.
So
The thing is,
who's-
like, Nate has been taking more photos because I've just like assumed the video because it's easier. It's easier to like to handle. It's easier to like do all this stuff with like if we have like 5 videos or we're doing 5 different things. You just stay on the photos and I'll just do the video. It's easier to like handle afterwards. So I haven't been taking as many photos, but I will say when we went to the NWTF and someone brought that one photo for you to sign and like it was your photo, I was like, dang, that was awesome.
that was really
It
cool.
was really
Like
cool.
nobody's gonna pull
I
up their
wish you'd
phone,
been
their
there the
YouTube
second
video,
day.
and be like, "Will you sign that?"
Yeah.
There was another one.
Really?
Yeah, there was. I almost did it. I was like, "Yeah, that's my photo."
Yeah, two people brought photos for you to sign.
I was very grateful for that opportunity.
That was really cool.
That was really cool.
This one says, "When will Matt ride Bo?" And I'm actually the only one who has never ridden one of your horses. And I tell you why. It's because I have ridden horses before, and I feel like at the time none of y'all had, and I just wanted like everybody else, I guess, to get the experience. But I think it is my time soon.
It's your time.
So Bo just got some seasonal work. We are waiting to hear back about if he has EPM or not, because we saw him like he was kind of having some issues with his rear end recently. Like he laid down to roll and then he had a really hard time getting up. And while we had the vet out and they looked at him and they were like, he seems super sound, super good for his age. I want to make sure we cross all of our,
Yeah.
cross everything and make sure he's all okay before we like get on his back again,
Right.
things like that. So
It doesn't have to be Bo. I'll get on Ethel.
he's like, I mean,
I want on Ethel
When-
the moment she gets let into the field for the first time in the morning. I want that ride.
Oh,
When the time comes and she is being somewhat ridden,
Sophie.
I would love to ride Sophie. If that's
I
an
think
option
you might get up there
ever.
and be a little surprised at how tall it is.
I would like to experience
I could
it.
tell how tall
I'm
she
not
is just
saying you
looking at
can't.
her.
You can.
Okay.
But remember when you got on Denver
Mhm.
and you were like, this is up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Denver is 6 inches shorter than Sophie. And that's a lot more than you think it is.
Yeah. I'm going to trust you.
Like,
It's going to be high.
it's going to be high. It's going to be up there.
It'll be scarier. It'll be scarier for sure.
And she's also, I haven't gotten on her yet, and I'm excited to, but she's probably going to feel a bit like narrower,
Okay.
which, why are you laughing?
I'll
We're
wait till
reading
after.
questions.
Which I do feel like gives like the illusion that something's like,
Taller.
yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, well,
Okay.
obviously
We've got to take a break because
obviously you need to share something.
Oh man. No, you wouldn't
If
get
you
it.
could pick any animal, if you could pick any animal on the farm to be named after you, what animal would you choose, and what variation of your name would you pick? Example for Abigail, Abby, Gail, or Abe. Nate,
Abe.
Nathan, Nathaniel, Natalie, Matt, Matthew, Huey, Matty, or Maddie.
I don't know where they
Huey?
I don't know where they got
Huey.
Matthew. Dude, I never even connected that.
dude, Huey.
Huey
Huey,
is solid.
H-E-W-I-E.
I'm
Matthewy.
You should go by Huey from now
I'm gonna
on.
go by Matthewy.
Matthew.
The one above that was if Katie was one of the mayors, who would she be?
Oh God, y'all can answer.
I would say
Trudy.
of the 5 mayors.
Trudy?
Of the 5 mayors.
He's gonna be like, you know what? Happy. That's
You
his
know what?
answer
I
for
think-
everything.
Of the mayors that I know personally, that I can like say that you're the same horse. Well, you're not a
because
horse,
you know
but
them so well.
I would say I don't know, probably like Trudy because she is just such a
Because
a
you just heard Nate say Trudy.
matriarchal figure.
Yeah.
Like she is like Trudy is of all the horses on your farm. It's like, yeah, we have this, like, but Trudy.
She has a presence in the past.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay. Oh, that's true.
We're gonna let him answer because he actually knows who Trudy is.
I know who Trudy is.
Do you know who Trudy is?
I know who
because
Trudy
Nate
is from
said it
day one.
first.
What color is Trudy?
Dark brown
Okay.
Yeah.
and huge.
Okay.
That's another distinct factor.
She just has a presence in the pasture of like
Mean.
nobody. No,
No.
no,
She's
it's
mean.
more
Bully.
just-
She has aura.
she's not mean.
She has
She just has
aura.
aura. She can.
She threw Molly down to the ground the other day, and
she can
that
be-
was off camera.
She can be mean if she needs to be.
She's not a somebody to be messed with.
But she thinks she needs to be mean all the time.
Okay.
It's
Well,
not just like
To be fair, I'm not around Trudy all the time.
Yeah.
From your experience with Trudy, I will take it as a compliment.
Thank you.
From my experience,
I mean,
with
you're
Trudy,
not Gracie. Did I get that right? Is it Gracie?
Should we put? Gracie is so short, fat, and mean.
Right.
Okay. Anyway,
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not Gracie.
Abigail, because you're probably the only one that can answer this one super
Accurately, maybe.
accurately. She's like, this is a lot of pressure. I don't like this.
No, she's reading. Cindy wants us
No,
to make
no.
a freaking.
I'm thinking.
This is cool though. I want to know what Abigail thinks though. She actually knows the horses.
My first thought was Kennedy. Kennedy or Arlene.
Erlene.
Um,
Not Erlene. Maybe Kennedy. Again, this is one of those times
Yeah,
that
'cause
we're talking
I can
about
see
where
Kennedy.
you have an opinion and everybody else is
I can
like,
see
"No."
Kennedy.
I start getting just absolutely. I couldn't say what I was going to say.
I see
but,
Kennedy.
Yeah. So I'll just let you go ahead and say why you couldn't see Arlene, but you could see Kennedy. So go ahead and
Give us your perspective. Matt.
elaborate on that.
Well, when you look at Erlene and you look at Kennedy,
Now,
what
now
colors are
before
they?
we start, tell me what Arlene looks like.
Erlene is like a matte, grayish, black, grayish. Like what color would that
Arlene's
be?
like
Oh,
a
yeah,
Arlene's
yeah.
like a honey tan brown.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When you look at Erlene, you look
Arlene's
at
red.
Kennedy.
You look at Arlene.
Two different horses completely. There's two different
So
horses.
true.
I mean, you got one, then you got the other.
So this is when I get so confused by like you're like, oh, breeding's so boring. I like whatever. Like that is the optimal time for you to
Because-
learn who these horses are.
I know, but like I film and I'm looking at getting the shot and I'm looking at I get done like okay, this is exactly the information I needed, but I'm not like retaining it. I'm just making sure that the camera is getting the information. Cindy wants us all four changing subjects because I'm tired of getting clowned on here. Cindy wants us all four to make a Christmas album available for download, and I think we should do it.
I think we should do it.
Chestnuts roasting.
Okay, I complimented his singing earlier, and now he's
Take it
gonna
away,
take
Katie.
that and run.
Jack Frost. Go ahead, Katie. Okay. Are we done?
Nipping at your nose.
We are at 108, so if we want to like steer on, what time's the vet get here? 2:30. It's 1:50.
Yeah, but I'm gonna see if he's gonna be on time because we do need to take.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
so
Dr.
let's wrap
Matthews'
it up.
worst and best habits.
wrap
Worst
it up.
habit. Time. Yeah, I'll be there anywhere from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, I think we do need, wrapping up off. I think okay. Well,
Okay.
See, she
Frazzled.
needs a day off.
This is frazzled.
This is frazzle. Peak frazz.
okay.
Dude, we should have stickers. Like, we could do like little chibi characters of like all the different like emotions, and like have like frazzled Katie and like stressed Katie.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Like a little Among Us. But
Yeah,
like,
like little chibis.
Before we end, I do think we needed to touch on what we did this week, which was
Yeah.
we did go pick up 7 and bring home 7 and Gretchen. We'll get more into detail, obviously, in another video. We do plan on doing like a long form video, sitting down with the vets and talking about the experience and what all went to our decision making, what all, we think might happen in the future, what we're prepared for, things like that. But it was very, I don't even know. It was such a wide range of emotions, I think. And people were like, how are you not crying? I don't really cry. But like, It's a little bit of, I think the happiness was a little bit squashed by nerves,
Yeah.
a little bit squashed by anxiety over like hauling him for 3 hours. A little bit of, just like the unknown, right? So like I'm very happy he's here. I've like so enjoyed being able to just like go out and see him out in the pasture and take him outside, and he's getting to graze and do horse things out in the sun.
How has he transitioned and stuff?
He's been super chill. Like, he has his routine. We got all of his like what he gets in a day with his supplements and like things like that figured out. I was talking with the vet today about, like, she texted me, she's like, how are y'all feeling? It's been a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if every day's like these past couple days, we're good. This has been super chill. But I'm just nervous and like, wanting to do what's right and wanting to make the right decisions for when things arise that I've got to like help him, or we got to like put a brace on his leg while he's growing, or we got to, whatever. That's where I'm nervous, right? So I almost feel apprehensive to like get comfortable, like into a routine. So yeah, lots of stuff. I mean, what was y'all's takeaway from that day?
I was super surprised of like how, because I keep forgetting like 7 to like to the people at Knoxville and like that whole like institution is like they're like baby. Like, I mean, he's like been there like every single day. They work with him every single day. So like I was surprised to just see like the spread, like the whole, like they were taking photos, like it was a whole, and I knew like it was a big deal, and I knew like the gravity of the situation, but I mean, everybody was obviously super
when we walked
sad to
in,
see
there
him
was
go.
30 people surrounding him.
Yeah, everybody was crying.
It was really cool to
everybody,
see.
I mean, it was awesome.
I was shocked too, because I knew that there was people that were with him every day. Like I knew that there was Dr. Orsini and Zoe, and there was people that were like his people. But it was a really cool thing to see how many people's hands had been in on it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even counting like the students that were on rotation that would come in, and because they did rounds like of 2 weeks and whatnot. So yeah, that was kind of like the big thing this week, was going to get him, bringing him home, figuring out his schedule, putting him outside. Like we still haven't introduced him to any of the minis yet, like actually in there with him. He just sees them through the fence, but they come over and like, touch noses with him and hang out with him. Like I walked out there earlier and he was grazing, and Karen and a couple of them were grazing right next to him.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were grazing with him,
Yeah.
like with the fence right there. So it was, yeah.
I'm excited to talk to Dr. Orsini and
I think that'll be
cool
really
podcast
cool.
too. Yeah.
see what all knowledge is.
I'm going to ask if Dr. Christine wants to be a part of it. I'm going to give her the option. Not everybody loves to be on the camera and stuff like that. But, she was with him for the first 3-4 months of his life. And then after that, Dr. Orsini took over. But yeah, that was kind of wild. So I'm really kind of too much to talk about in this little wrap up, obviously. But there's a lot going on and lots to come. So I hope y'all enjoyed, us answering some questions and just kind of roasting each other today. That's kind of what it turned into.
Somehow, yeah.
It did turn into a roast a bit.
But I think that we all have a better understanding of it.
I think it was a little bit cathartic. Like I think it was needed.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't like it.
But yeah,
we'll talk about it after for sure.
lots to come. So many new things. Like we're gonna be traveling a lot more after this last baby's born. We're waiting on the last baby. Happy is at 321 days today. So, I mean, that could be kind of any time. She's got wax on her udder. She is looking low, super uncomfortable, rolling a lot. We do hope she kind of holds it in through the next catching it with Katie, but who knows at this point.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Let us know if you have any questions. Go check out my Snapchat for behind the scenes. That's Katie Van Slyke 96. We'll link that in the description. Go check out the merch store. We have so many new things of all the foals and the mini horses and so many designs and things like that. And we have new things coming up. I'm just going to go ahead and hint. There's some like art things coming up, like activity art things. There's some stuff that we are special ordering. There's all kinds of things.
I'm gonna have to get some of the activity arts.
We might do one on camera.
That would be cool.
Like
Go
together.
live, maybe.
A little, yeah, I think it'd be cool. So lots of stuff to come. Go check that out, katievanslyke.net, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Give
See
it
ya,
to
bye.
Abigail.
Bye.
Give it to Abigail.
Adios.
Bye.
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 See ya.